gave it to us all. At that time, they were not calling me an elder. I was a very young man. We were in Bukoto, struggling after being disappointed by the NRA, NRM, and trying to figure out what we could do after our reform program had also been thrown away. And sitting at Uma grounds there, thinking about whether we should have turned the reform agenda into a political organization, and knowing that these big-legged women and men from some region had betrayed us, I see a girl lying in the corner. Then I asked a colleague, I'm sorry for having been sectarian at that time. I looked at this girl, said, this girl comes from which area? Or not to be told that this girl doesn't even come from the West, that she was from Teso. And I got very interested. And I went to talk to her, find out her motivation. Because many of the people from that region had actually not supported NRM. But many of the reform agenda people had supported and been disappointed by NRM. And so I wanted to find out from this lady what had motivated her. And I learned that this young lady had a pain on her heart that she wanted to say to Ugandans. So from 2002, I've seen Sarah struggling for a better Uganda. Beginning from the mistreatment she thought was, or she saw being meted on her own people, to how Uganda was being run, and to the reform agenda that we had brought in order to improve or to give a life to what we saw dying in the NRM. Sarah Eperu made our reform agenda known by her motor mouth, the one I had people talking in the church. And she would got about 5 radio stations in one day. She goes here, she talks Uganda, she goes there, talks in English, goes to another place, talks in Ateso, and went to very many places and talked about the change that we wanted. But Sarah also had a lot of controversies. Many of the people that became her friends were actually stepped on by her, because she was not someone that you could keep. She would come on you straight if she thought what you are doing was not okay, or if she thought you had misunderstood her. And my colleagues here know her better, her best friends now. Waflo Gutru, Semujunganda, also others there, you all know her. She would not allow you to step on her view. And she made it known. The courage that made Sarah was metallic. She has died a courageous woman. 22 years ago, and seeing her through the formation of Forum for Democratic Change, the fractures in Forum for Democratic Change, and I met her at the founders meeting in Namugongo. I said, Sarah, you don't look okay. Sarah, she said, I'm not okay. But there is no way I can let a founders meeting go without my presence. I need my word to be heard. And it was heard. People can pretend that she's a secretary for some constituency. She's not there. Sarah was fighting for change. And if you were not seen to stand for that change, that's why she went and told my friend Amriat and said, no, I don't think you can be a good president for FDC. In his face. She went again and told him, I don't think you can be a good candidate to take a flag of FDC. I thought Honorable Amriat had not heard, but I heard him today actually admitting it in the church. Sarah told him. Sarah would tell anybody. I'm sure the powers that be listen to her sufficiently. We shall only let her down by not knowing or practicing that type of brevity and taking on the dictator the way this woman took her on, so that her children, her grandchildren, her friends can be liberated when some of us are still around. May her soul rest in eternal peace.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Bakandonda. Maybe let's add him a small, slightly bigger hand clap.
Breaking the patriarchal system in political parties. Seeing Sarah on the political scene of leadership in a political party gave us a lot of courage. We know very well Sarah has been fighting for this country. As the women in this country, we will push for her. Sarah, as you lay there, we promise tetugenda kuteeka bikola wansi. Emundu tugenda sinonera yoddala kugombolola. Tetubadde olumu abamu zaaterekebwa tulwana olutalo. We promise the moment that one is fulfilled, Sarah, you will always be happy. And as FDC activists have always been saying, that we will overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome someday. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe that we shall overcome. We shall live in peace. We shall live in peace. We shall live in peace someday. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe that we shall live in peace someday. Ayo mukama muwechi umule chitagwawo lechitanga lecholuberera chimwakire atebekere mirembe. Amen.
The president of the DP Women's League. Rest in peace, Sarah Eperu. She used to call herself the best, the big girl. Rest in peace. Today, we are here standing here to mourn the death of our comrade Sarah. While we mourn the death of our comrade Sarah, we, as the FDC Women's League, we have lost a pillar, a friend, a mother, a colleague, a mentor, a mouthpiece of women in the FDC. We have lost a comrade in the struggle. At the time of her death, she was a spokesperson of the Women's League. The long, she performed at the best of her best. All of you can bear me a witness. Sarah has performed that well that role very well. We thank God for her life and her contributions towards the fight, struggle, the democracy and the injustices in Uganda. Sarah dedicated her life to fighting for the rights of the common person, putting her country first. We believe in the next address she will continue to fight for injustices. We can assure you, Sarah, as the women of the FDC, that we shall continue to fight for the values and the rights you stood for until Uganda is free. As the FDC Women's League, we thank Dr. Besigye for the support you have rendered to our comrade, Sarah. We cannot take it for granted. May the good Lord reward you on our behalf. Bye-bye, Sarah. Bye-bye, Sarah. Greet for us, Dr. Sulaiman Chigu. Greet for us, Bwani Kabale. Greet for us, all our comrades that went before the cause of the struggle. Sarah, please, when you reach, tell them that as the FDC Women's League, we shall still continue to fight until we liberate this country. Till we meet again. Bye, my comrade.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's give high others. Most welcome, sir.
I greet you, members of this great gathering, as we send off our gallant Sarah Eperu.